Hey, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing today? Hey, this is Gregory Wiles coming live to you from Houston, Texas, with this inspirational morning walk, man. For first-time listeners, I just get some exercise in the mornings, and I share my thoughts with you guys, what I'm inspired to talk about. Good morning, Tessa. Good morning, cuz. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Hey, but today I am heading out to work. Got some work to do this morning, so I just pull over here in my work van and I'm going to get this word out. And there's a story behind that, guys, why people might think, I when I just pull over and do this. And I'm going to go into it a little bit. Why is that? Why is that? Why would be, you might say, oh, you're so committed, you're doing this. It's a reason behind it. So, yes, if you're listening for the first time, you can check me out on YouTube. I have lots of other little messages there. You might find something to bless you guys, something to bless you there. But today I'm going to get into it. This scripture, I heard this scripture was used over the last few days, and I want to shed some light on it, and I want to use this scripture, and then we can get into it. It's Exodus 3:19. I can read from Exodus 3:19 to 21. Exodus 3:19 to 21. This is a part of the whole story when God had called Moses to go and get his people out to the promised land, right? He called him to go and get his people out of the promised land. And, Moses had some excuses, and, God deal with all those excuses. Oh, God, why me? I can't even speak properly. God said, okay, you can't speak. Okay, your brother Aaron is on his way over here right now. He can speak well. You can use him to be your mouthpiece. I'll tell you what to tell the people, and you can tell him, and he can tell the people. Okay, what's your next excuse? So Moses had these excuses, and God, take care of those excuses one at a time. And that's why I want to shed some light on. When God called you to do something, you know what I mean? He's going to find a way, right? So let's see. I can just read from Exodus 3:19 through 21, right? So, but God tell him, man, go and get my people out, right? And God telling him, I know the opposition where you're going to face. I know you're going to face some opposition. So I can read from here 19, Exodus 3:19. He said, but I know the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand forces him. He said, and I know the king ain't going to let you go with these people until a mighty hand forces him. So I will raise my hands and strike the Egyptians. He said, I will raise my hand and strike the Egyptians, performing all kinds of miracles among them. Then at last he will let you go. So God said, I know I'm asking you to do something right now. I'm asking you to do something. I know there can be some opposition, but I'm going to raise my hand against that opposition that you're going to face for the thing I'm calling you to do. You're going to get the opposition, but I'm going to raise my hand. Then 21 said, and I will cause the Egyptians to look favorably on you. They will give you gifts when you go, so you will not leave empty-handed. So God said, at the end of it all the opposition you're going to face, you're going to come out of it looking favorably. Colin Tom, good morning, right? So I say that to say God is asking, maybe asking you to do something. Who this message is for, they're going to know it. Something is tugging on your heart to do. You're tugging on your heart to do, but you're looking at the opposition you got to face. He's saying, man, I'm going to remove that Pharaoh. That Pharaoh don't want to let you go. I'm going to raise my hands against. Your Pharaoh might be a sickness. Your Pharaoh might be some boss that's fighting you down right now. Your Pharaoh might be finances. He's saying, I'm going to raise my hand. When I ask you to do this thing that I'm asking you to do, whatever it is he's calling and tugging on your heart to do, some of you need to go and do your own businesses. Some of you need to go and do extra class to get that promotion. I don't know what it is, but he's putting this on your heart, man. Do this thing, and you're coming up with a lot of excuses, right? And he's saying, don't worry, whatever you need, just like how Moses was coming up with these excuses, he provided for him. You can't speak, okay. You can't write, I can find somebody to help you write. You got to write the book, tell your story to bless some of my people. You can't write, you don't went to school too long, you can't write. Hey, you got a lot of people. You just need to tell your story too. I can get you a writer, and you can get your story out there, right? So I'm saying, if he asks you to do something, he know the opposition you're going to face. But he's saying he can raise his hands. He can raise his mighty hands, right? And when you're done, you're going to become out favorable in the situation, right? So I'd say you to say when I start off talking about I would pull over. I would pull over if this I got to work and I got to do this. I just pull over and do it, man, because you know why? The mistake you can make, right? Because I tell you, God can provide what you need for do whatever He asks you to do, right? But I want to tell someone out there right now, if God asks you to do something, don't ever use that excuse and say, God, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Please don't do it. Don't do it and tell Him you don't have time. And time is one of your pharaohs, one of your barriers that preventing you from doing whatever He asks you to do, right? Because I'm going to tell you, He going to slow you up in so many ways. If your job is getting in your way, He might cause you to lose the job. So don't tell Him you can make whatever He tell you to do priority, and don't ever use your excuse and say one of your pharaohs why you can't do what you need to do is time. Because I know when He asked me to go off and do my own job, I did it, went off and do it and everything, and things was going so fine. He said, man, I said, God, I want to help out the kingdom. He said, well, okay, you got to get a little deeper into the word. You got to do some little more deeper studying. I said, man, you know what, but I'm so busy with the work that you give me, I don't have time. He said, okay, no problem. We can fix that. It's time that you need. Okay, I'll give you more time. Man, I start losing contracts left, right, and center till it gets so slow. He said, how about now? Do you have enough time right now? Do you have enough time right now? I give you time. So some of you are using an excuse for time. He might cause you to get a sickness, might cause you to lose the job. He can slow you up. He might slow you up and say, okay, now you do have time. Let me see, what's your next excuse now? Or you might use an excuse, God, I don't have the money to do it. Next thing you know, you put someone in your way to bless you with that money. So I'm just saying, whatever He asks you to do, whatever that is, man, you got to make it priority. You got to make it priority, and you got to get it done. So that's why right now, and I got this work to do. I don't care if 1, 2, 5 people listen. Because He asked me to do it, I'm using the excuse of time no more. I'll stop, pull over, do what He asked me to do, and I can still continue with the work that He blessed me with. Because I'm not going to tell Him, I ain't got time to do His work, man. No. Don't ever use that excuse, right? So I just thought I'd bless someone, man. But whatever the opposition you facing, man, let me read the scripture again. But this is with Moses, and God asked him to go and get the people out of Egypt, right? You're telling him, but I know the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand forces him. So I'll raise my hand and strike the Egyptians, performing all kind of miracles among them. So He can perform all kind of miracles to get you. So the task we looking to do, you might looking at is so great and so big. Moses like, God, you crazy? 3 million people. You want me to go to Pharaoh and tell them to let them people go? He said, no, I can work all them miracles. You don't worry about that. I asked you to do it. All I want you to do is agree with me, man. All I want you to do is say, yes, you're going to do it, and you leave the rest to me. I'm going to work the miracles. I'm going to raise my hand against your opposition. I'm going to get you the finances. I'm going to get you whatever you need. You can't write, you can't speak, you can't talk. I'm going to find a way. All I want you to do is agree with me that you are going to do whatever I ask you to do, and it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Right? I can remember I wrestled with him a year. He was telling me, you got to leave the job and you got to go off and do what you need to do. You got to go. I was a year back and forth, trying to ask him, man, but God ain't seeing this stuff. And you got to understand, He's never give you the whole picture. He can give you one stage at a time. Some of you, He's probably telling you to leave where you are or move to a different city, move to a different area, move to a different place. But He don't give you the whole thing. He give you one step at a time. One step. He don't want to show you the big picture where you're going to end up, why He's telling you to move from here. Maybe He's telling you to move from that area to the next area because a connection waiting for you right there. Right? Well, you can't get it if you stay within the area, within the city, within the state. Whatever He's telling you to do, He don't give you the whole big picture. But He can tell you one step at a time. You just got to be obedient. You just got to be obedient and go. It took me a year back and forth, bargaining with Him till, the last straw where is a story I read, and, he was like talking to me like, this is it. How much more proof you want? And then I went off, right? And I didn't regret it. So I'm saying, man, when He asks you to do something, just go on. And then, we got to understand. Whatever he asks you for do is not about you. There's a lot of people waiting on you to do what you need to do so they can reach where they need to go. Right? A lot of people waiting on you for the gift that he give you, right? So in terms of me with my company that I open, and I see so much of people got blessed and getting blessed still along the way because the little shifts that we had was so perfect for them for their situation, giving them a little extra income, and it worked out the right time where we need it for, and it would bless them. I see, and it's still blessing a whole lot of people right now. So I'm saying, whatever he asks you to do is not about you only. You're gonna get the blessings, you're gonna get what comes along with it, but it's a whole lot of other people waiting for you to do what he asks you to do so they can reach their next step. So remember that it's bigger than us. Whatever he asks us to do is bigger than us. A lot of people waiting on us to make that move, and if we don't make that move because we're saying these pharaohs in our part, we keeping back a lot of people. But he's saying, once you say yes and you agree with me, man, I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to raise my hand and strike the Egyptians, performing all kind of miracles, man. I'm going to raise my hand, right? And then you're going to come out of it. You see, because when they left Egypt, the Egyptians were so nice to them and give them gifts and give them a whole lot of stuff. So he said those were going to happen. With opposition, when I remove it, you're going to get bountiful blessings, man. That whatever tugging in your heart what you got for you to do, whatever tugging in your heart is not going away, tugging in your heart, you know the calling, whatever is he calling you to do, man. Just agree with it and go ahead. And he can take it one step at a time. He can remove that opposition that in your way. He can raise his hands against that opposition, guys, right? So I'm going to leave that there, man. I'm going to leave that there, but go ahead. Whatever you're asking you to do, that stuff tugging on your heart right now, man. You know this message. When you hear it, it's like I'm in front of you speaking to you. Go ahead and make the step. Just say yes, and he can figure it out. He can work. He can raise his hands and remove the opposition from in front of you, man. So you guys have a great day. Have a great, great day, guys. We're going to talk again on Friday. All right, bye.